There's some pretty spectacular space games in the Steam Next Fest June 2026. I've been digging through the thousands of games that are over there on the platform, and I've got a few here for you that you might want to try out. Now, the great thing about the Next Fest is that the games always have demos available. That means you can just jump in and get these for free and try them out. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour of your time, whatever you most feel like, and you'll know exactly if each of these are the type of games that you want. So what we've got here are some pretty nice, massive MMO games, a few really nice shooters, some very complex orbital games. Well, take your pick really, pretty much everything you could want to try out. And obviously, the big caveat here is that you shouldn't be expecting these to be AAA titles, and some of them are certainly not even AA titles. But that is the entire point. Steam Next Fest is about trying prototypes, it's about trying concepts, it's about trying games from the people who are pushing the genre forward in the most interesting and profound way. Not with AAA big budgets, but rather with interesting ideas. The very thing that made this whole space game genre interesting right from the start. So let's start with Nova Era Atom. This one is the most visually appealing game on this list, and well, just look at it. We've got some really nice graphics here, flying through debris fields, past wrecks. Definitely got a really nice sense of scale here. Ships banking through nebula, some nice explosions going on. This then is deep space fantasy rendered at a really nice visual quality, which is all the more impressive from coming from a very small studio. And then you get into the hangar and you can see some proper ship outfitting systems. We've got modules, weapons, defenses, all the stuff you'd like to see. And of course, a ship paint shop where you can make the thing really feel like your own vessel. The thing is, when it comes to gameplay, this one may be a little bit hit and miss for some of you, but that's why we've got free demos here, and it's also why there's a whole bunch of other games in the list that you're going to want to try out. So, yeah, Nova Era is a free-to-play MMO, and that means I can't really show you through the video what the grind feels like, how many hours are going to take you to get anywhere, how the monetization is going to shake out ultimately, whether or not the quality of this holds out past the initial few hours. I don't know, obviously, because yeah, there's only a small demo available on this, and we're going to have to see what that's like in the future. But that's not a reason to skip here. That is the exact reason that you might want to go and play the demo right now. And by the way, all of these demos are linked in the video description below. Next up, we've got Dead Reckoning, The Long Drift. So here, you're commanding a generation ship. 1,000 colonists, a destination that might be 50 years away, or it could be centuries. People here will be born, they'll grow old and die in the dark between the stars without ever knowing if the mission worked. Many of these people, in other words, will never know a homeworld of their own. Their entire life will be lived out on board the ship. And here you are. Your job is to manage food, power, hull integrity across that entire journey. And here's where that whole concept gets very interesting. The developers have said that all of this is retroactive. That means every decision you make is kind of defensible in the moment. You might need to make a decision there and then, but when you look back across 100 years of time, well, those small choices might have had a butterfly effect. They add up, and what your colony ultimately becomes is what you let it become through those small decisions. And what's nice about this is that really this is the type of game that needs to be set in space. It needs distance, it needs the grand scale of space itself, it needs that generation ship to tell a story over vast spans of time. So right now there is a demo on this, but don't let the visuals fool you, because whilst this may look a little bit spreadsheet in some aspects, well, there is some room to expand here because there's a novel running through it in many respects, potentially a deep dynamic story that's told by your actions. Next up, we've got Pixel Orbit. Now this one is very different to what we've looked at before, and it might take you all the way back to very close to the origins of the space game genre itself. And, well, you probably don't need me explain that in detail. You can see that from some of the visual. We've got domes here along the bottom, we've got a horizon, things coming down out of the sky, and the battery at the bottom flying up to meet them. This, in many ways, is Missile Command, and that's going all the way back to 1980, one of the oldest space game genres that there is, and here we are in 2026, and it's still being made. Now, that said, we have got some modern sensibilities here. For example, you have a build skill tree. You can set up automatic turrets. You can survive a little longer each run, so it has roguelike elements. And the visuals are very nice as well. It does have quite a bit of a retro style to it as well. Moving on, we come to Void Cargo Equilibrium. So in many ways, this is perhaps the purest even, true space game on the list, and one that's closest to Elite and X in lineage in some forms, kind of depending on how you look at it, but yes, this is a space trucking game. So you fly delivery routes, you balance mass, thrust and fuel, you repair systems mid-flight, and the physics are kind of weighty, so the developer claims, and there is a Newtonian element going on here as well. And that means the ship should at least have some real inertia to it, real momentum. It's worth pointing out that there's no campaign here, no fail state, you just you, the void, and the job itself. And let's face it, that's exactly how a space trucking game should be, isn't it? The demo for this is available right now. This one's being worked on by a solo developer, as is pretty much all the games in this list, I do believe. So yeah, if you're interested in a bit of space trucking right now, this one is certainly worth a look. GalactiWar Empire Simulator is a very different game. Here, you're not flying a ship, you're not even really a player in the usual sense. You're kind of a god looking down on a whole galaxy. You're watching empires rise, grow, conquer, rebel, form alliances, and collapse over centuries. And you can just watch it happen, or you can reach in with godly powers and tip the scales. Now, the whole pitch here is AI versus AI in many senses of it, but it's also interesting because the developers explicitly stated that there's no generative AI involved in the development of this game. So with the AI versus AI inside of the game, you set a galaxy running and the stories emerge out of it. You see dynasties and wars and doomsday weapons, all of this with you as the audience. It's a completely different flavour of space game to everything else here, but that's kind of the point of it. Now, if you liked, back in the day, asteroids and geometry wars, you got another game here called Vanisha, which actually looks like asteroids and geometry wars might have had a baby. You got a single ship alone in the black, your free rotation, things breaking apart all around you, and smaller things to shoot at. All of the time, your score multiplier is climbing. All of this then is a brand new twin-stick shooter. The game also has a talent tree with nearly 400 different nodes, around 90 collectibles, 6 different ships, each built around a different weapon, and a whole prestige system that you can get involved with after you finish it. I won't go into too much detail on this because obviously if you've played the twin-stick shooters, you know what to expect, and all the visuals here should fill in the missing gaps. A very quick one next, we're looking at Orbit 1. Now this one doesn't have a trailer yet, doesn't even have any video footage, but this is seemingly quite a complex game. It's all about real n-body orbital physics and planning a journey from one point to the next. You've got Lagrange points here, unstable orbits, the usual hard maths of getting a spacecraft from here to Triton or anywhere else. So yeah, if you're really into the real complex side of things, think about more like Kerbal perhaps, rather than a dogfighter or even X, then if that's the type of thing you like, then a demo for this could be worth taking a look at. So yeah, there's 1,000 of different demos out there on Steam and Xfest right now, thousands literally, and yeah, the hard part there is finding these. So that's what I've tried to do here, track down a few of the more interesting space games. Do give them a look, I've linked them all in the video description below. Each of them have demos, so spend as much or little time with them as you like to get a feel for them. And if you're interested in them, do wishlist them, because that helps out the developers of the games immensely and will help with discoverability and perhaps give them a little bit more success where it's actually deserved. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. There is another one on the screen right here. Do take care, and I'll catch you next time.